Two-tone and L-E-L-N-E-S-S-N. Yes, we are the very best.
$7 popping collars, eating shrimp, $5 met some girls from Guatemala, now they trying to holler.
Now before they would have holler, now I'm trying to be a scholar, cause she giving all the knowledge to me.
Knowledge to me.
Doing her work every night of the week.
Night of the week.
Like she chillin' up at college with me.
College with me, but we cruising, man. Rolling up at 430. Kush same color as a Kobe Road jersey, or a throwback worthy. Giraffe ass high, fresh breeze just passing us by. Cause I'm cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I got my good shoes on, ain't got no bad news. Here's what you say to the lady. Let me squeeze you, oh, let me hold you, oh, let me squeeze you, oh, let me hold you. Why? Cause I don't wanna leave this party, baby, without you. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride.
Okay.
What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. I arrive at a party at 9. I reside beside Sim. Think on the fly, time's on our side. But look again, then it's 11 p.m. Chalk it on the board. Time to sin. Let's begin. Hey, you kinda cute, and I got the loot to befriend both you and your girlfriend too.
You single Tim Jones?
Well, that depends. Just then she turned to a friend and she said,
I really like him.
Say word.
I really like him.
Oh yeah.
I really.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JCT TV. As in always, opening up the show, we'd like to give a great big shout out to Big Al, the chief engineer, opening up the doors of Sky Cable so we can come in, kick in the doors, and make it do what it do for you, you, and you. Also, we want to give a great big shout out to M&N TV of NYC. Tri-state area is hot, folks. With that being said, we have an outstanding cast on hand today. We have the duo of the process, none other than Damien and Lady Partey. And we have visiting from the clock hour, none other than the outstanding Brother Marv Kennel. We also have the outstanding Jose Coco Velez making it do what it do, making a stop here at JCT TV. We're going to actually show you some of the wild and crazy footage we've been doing in New York City lately, too, during the slight intermissions. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have the subject matter tonight of intention and fusion. And I say good luck to these folks because I know it's going to be a monster attempting to consolidate those two terms to talk about the issues of the economics of success. With that being said, I'm out your way, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Process.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Miss Pat. I'm here with my co-host, Damien. Today, we're going to speak about intention and fusion as it relates to economics and success.
I would like to introduce our guest, Marvelous Marv from Clock Hour.
Clock Hour. Thank you for having me. So,
To start the conversation, what would you like to touch on first? Would you like to touch on intention? Would you like to touch on fusion? What would you like to start with?
Let's go with intention. Like, what is our intentions? As far as, like, we were just talking about bringing everything together. As far as the information that we produce on this show, you know what I'm saying? What is our intentions to the people? Let me see. Unification. Back to unity. I mean, did we ever have unity? I don't know.
we did at one point.
So the intentions right now, like, I seek a high degree of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And we all do. But the intention is to bring it all together. How do we accomplish that?
You mean like a fusion?
Yeah, like a fusion.
Like us just fusing all of our commercial energy together? Perhaps uniting in that way and getting things done? Getting the bankers out the way? The frauds, the tricksters?
Is it possible?
Of course it's possible. If we operate under the post office monetary system and we operate as just bankers in just commerce, we stop using the FRNs, we stop contracting, we stop taking out the insurance, stop giving people the social security number, period, like for like a simpler way to put it, right? Stop contracting with that social security number. Stop operating incorporated. Operate unincorporated.
That knowledge you have, how can everyone come together and unify all of this information?
Well, you speak about unity, right? And we as a people, we can educate one another. That's how we come together. Each one teach one, like I said. So we fuse together and we educate the masses, as many as we can. Because like I said, we're not going to force this on anybody. This is not something that you can force on anyone. You know, I'm in the process of helping somebody comprehend all of this information right now, you know, like going back to square one with everything. And as basic and simply put as I think things are being relayed to him, he's just like, everything is just like flying over his head, like, whoa. Down to the Constitution. So I want to ask everybody want to ask everybody once again, do you really know what's in the Constitution? Do you really know what it is that you're reading? I don't think so. Because for starters, if anybody knew what they were reading, as a people, I think like the general consensus is nobody likes Biden. Even though we don't need them if they're not going to work for us. We don't need them. But anyway, as a general consensus, it's like nobody likes Biden, right?
Yeah.
But if you read the Constitution, you would know that as an elector, you have the power to remove him. That's all you need is 2 people. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to the Supreme Court, and you're going to state your case. When you're going to get him right up on out of there. What's it called? You're removing him from office. Why? Treason, amongst many other things, whatever you want to say. But people aren't reading the Constitution, or they're not comprehending it at least. And then if they did, they would also know, Damien, that you have to sit out for 4 years before you can run again. Are you able to run consecutive terms just like that?
No.
How long should they sit out?
Was it 2 years, right?
4.
4. And that's the intention that we're all seeking, that information. That is the reason for this show. You know what I'm saying? We introduce our guests.
I am really and truly being a guest right now because I'm listening to what you're saying, and I've heard that conversation before, where I come from, and I kind of stay away from it because it goes deep. It goes real deep, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stay on the surface today.
On the surface.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
No, I understand where you're coming from, though. I get it.
Let us take you through maritime, through the waves of commerce, through the seas of commerce. And
right.
We'll
Because you mentioned stop using Social Security numbers and your birth certificates and different things like that as far as basically becoming almost like a separatist. Some people, they go that route, which there's a organization, I think, in Georgia, they did that. UCC code, sovereign citizenship, and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of those conversations, and I'm like, I don't know much about it, so all I'm doing is going to listen.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. We cannot be a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. Go ahead and tell them you're a sovereign citizen. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to dismiss you. No, we are sovereignty of the land. That's what we are. American. American, right? So Amer is prince, right? A prince that has knowledge and understanding and can accomplish the task of freeing oneself from her. And you know, it occurred to me, I was having a conversation with someone the other day.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Who's her?
I'm getting to it right now.
Okay.
Because I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they said to me, yeah, you know, the vessel and the birth canal, I know everything about how all of this is occurring. And I said, yes, you're right, but I really don't want you to get into all of that. And what he's talking about is how they try to classify our fiction person as a vessel, and how this has to do with the high seas. Even though it has to do with the high seas, they're trying to make it appear that it applies to us. So I got on the phone with him, and I said, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? I'm always telling him, you have to come out of her. Her is what they call the system, the Jezebel system, the bonded debt money system. So the reason why it's called her is because, like I said, they're vessels. And you can look it up per USC, Title 46, Chapter 573. So you can check out Section 911, 313, and they'll tell you all about the Shipping Act and the maritime liens. And 573 now, that has more to deal with the vessel and termination of the vessel after 25 years. But the reason why the system is called her is because the vessel itself is a female. It's classified as a female. And why? Because female vessels carry cargo. Now, if you look at us, humans, it's the female that's carrying the offspring in her womb, right? So then now we won't get into all those details.
But
because
the father
that's
is
too much.
the seed. The father is the that's his seed, so that's his property. So all of this this marriage and you gotta pay all of that it's written. So all you gotta do is find remedies to all of this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we got the remedies to all of your problems. And the thing is, you have to come out. It's all common sense. That's the whole thing. All of this was taught to you in elementary. And right as soon as you get into high school, it all goes away. It all goes away because everything your teacher told you about sentences and everything and about capital letters, that those corporations. So here we go, growing up, running from FBI, and we don't, you know what I'm saying? And what is it? IRS is the Internal Revenue Service. It's not the IRS. It's not the FBI. You know what I'm saying? So these words become, they get in our way. You know what I'm saying? And those are the spells. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I gotta wait a minute. You're taking me in too many different directions. Give me some baby steps. Okay. Give me a baby steps.
Go with the baby act. Give him the baby act.
No, we don't want to do the baby
No,
act.
no. Wait a minute. Because, and you're telling me that this started in grammar school, right?
Yeah.
But you're reading off. You're running off codes and everything. So, how does that relate to that? That relate to that? You got to bring me in. All I need is a couple minutes. Just bring me to the basics. I am he. He is me, right?
Yes.
The living man.
Exactly.
So the codes and the statutes and all that, that's really for the officials of the corporation. So whoever was working for
America is a corporation.
Right,
I
precisely.
understand that. Okay. So my objective is to detach myself from the corporation?
Not necessarily yourself, but your fiction person, because they incorporated you.
My fiction person?
Yes.
So that wouldn't be me?
No.
Just the person on paper?
That's the fiction that's on the paper that was incorporated, yes. So you're really all over the place, not just on the paper. You're in Puerto Rico with an account. You're being traded on the stock market. Oh, yeah, you have an account at the Treasury. So, like I said, it gets really deep and there's a lot to it. So it's like when you're coming into this, you have to have an intention, right? To really have a clear mind and get a good comprehension of everything, because, like I said, it entails a lot. A lot.
I understand what you're saying.
But now the codes, their codes apply to them, not us, the living. So I'm just saying, if you want to get a comprehension of what they're speaking about with these vessels, you go in under Title 46 and you read those specific sections.
Well, certain things you mentioned, I've heard before.
Right.
Yes.
Specifically, people, especially if you've been to the Navy and the Army.
I was in the
military. You know about it because you know about
214.
maritime and quartermasters and all that.
And I worked for the federal system.
So then that means you have an $11.2 million military bounty that you can liquidate.
Yeah. Let's get it there. Okay. You got a minute left. So we get ready to go into something else. 30 seconds.
We're about to close out and go into it. I forgot.
We're going into the next segment. Back to the process. We have a new guest. Jose has now joined the platform.
Thank you
How
for
are
having
you,
me.
Jose?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me here. It's good to be back.
Good. Now, in case you're unaware, today's topic is intention and fusion as it relates to success and economics.
I like that.
And we started off speaking on unity and unifying as a people and coming together to not necessarily defeat the bankers, but just eliminate them from being the middleman and just becoming self-sufficient ourselves. And we will barter amongst each other as opposed to running to go use their Federal Reserve notes. We can always just access our accounts at the Treasury. Turn our funds, our credits into commodities, and we can barter with one another. So we can set intentions on ways to work with one another to better the economy when we're operating as just bankers.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, sort of like a fusion of our energy to make things better.
You most definitely have to reconstruct the minds first into this knowledge, because we was all taught to think a different way to become a worker or whatever. So this right here would definitely, just the process is going to put you on the other side. And there's a few things too that can be done just to show you that this is where we're supposed to be actually, and they're utilizing our ignorance.
That's like reprogramming.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it is.
So it wouldn't be my generation, that would be able to start this.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anybody can start this.
The start thing, that's where we're at. We were talking about intention and fusion. Intention is like the beginning. We can't do anything until we decide what's going on. And I like you brought up like generations. This country is really, really young. We barely 500 years old or whatever. All the other countries in the world already been through it. So when U.S. was open for business, they came here, we opened for business. The Dutch masters, the Dutch community or country, you got England over there. Which other ones jumped over here to the U.S. to get a piece? France, and you got a lot of them over there.
The Germans.
The Germans,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So when you talk about like intention, what was the country really made for? That was before the 1776 Declaration and all that. They came here to get it in. What they did to the original people that were here and all that, that's another conversation. It's part of the big picture, but we're looking at now, so many years in, we're kind of deep in there. We were just talking about there's all these rules and things. So to just break it down and restart, that's tough. A lot of people are going to hurt, and we're going to set us back a bit. So we got to work from where we at and make moves. The banking, I think that's the main thing we should touch on it, because a lot of that started from the gold changers and the money makers, whatever country, religion, what they represent in, as men, they trying to get their money, and this was just that. So when you look at your money and says, "In God we trust," you could put whatever definition to God that you want, whatever you follow, but when you put your money in someone else's hand for a good service or whatever, you telling God what it's for. You telling God, that's what I think this is going to. That's the purpose of it. So ultimately, when all we have is the money to decide what is going to get leverage or going to get back supporting, that's where you putting your money to.
And that's what we focused on. Money is M-O-N-E-Y. And if you take the E off the end and put it at the end, you just focused on it's one eye system. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is our system. We created that money. You know what I'm saying? And we just trying to show you how you actually, if you want to be still into the system, you can actually still be part of it, because they want you to be able to get rid of the national debt. The national debt is
They want you to reduce, not eliminate.
They want you to reduce it. You know what I'm saying? And by reducing it, just by me showing you how to do your credit, get rid of the credit or whatever, you're gonna get letters coming back saying 100%. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And that goes back to a lot what y'all were saying too about not just the intention, but what we're gonna do with it as a people. Do we want to live our lives based around the economy and commerce, or we're gonna barter where there's no money, it's just goods? I got shoes, you got hat, but we switch out food, goods, or we're going to make our money system, right, that's not based on how much work, how much sweat you're going to give me in an hour, or what are you going to build for me, because big man at the top chilling with a cigar and everybody working. That's what the issue we have. You ain't going to run me to death, work me into the ground, and you chilling and your whole family and dynasty is straight.
In a way, it seems like that's going on right now because I work. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's the game.
I'm working for a corporation, but there's no one person sitting back like that because we all don't even know that we working for a system that just keep taking the information that we was plugged to give them our social, give them this, and give them this, and we get a job. We don't know that we giving them all of this and they creating payment bonds and performance bonds because you have a tax excursion up to 11.2 million or whatever behind your birth certificate, behind your driver's license, and behind all of this stuff. So.
Okay, well, let's not get into all of that right now because we don't want to confuse anybody and we don't want
right, and then I would be that one.
Going down any different avenues in their mind.
Taking me in another direction.
All right, all right.
No, it's all good, though. All good. I'm listening. One thing about it, I'm paying attention so I can ask the proper questions.
Yeah. Can I throw one in real quick? Not to cut anyone off, but I did hear it, and the vessel, the female, like I'm onto a lot of that too a little bit. The words, the spells, a lot of confusion or whatever. But we just got to really look at it as humans, and like we are really just trying to live. It's at a big level now, the U.S., but all of these things, they're all valid and they're all important. So the fusion is, again, the education and the teaching, because there's still a lot of people that don't know. Some people don't want to know. It's not that important. They got their own thing going on. They're like, yo, I'm not getting into all that, but we want to be straight as people.
But, one thing about it, I used to be a recruiter for the military. And one thing they taught you was to know your audience. If you have 100 people sitting out there, 1,000 people sitting there, and you want to target a few, you simplify it. And they used to say, keep it simple, stupid. The instructor, when he was teaching the class. And I really didn't know what that meant at first.
Kids.
Yeah. So then once I got out there in the field to keep it simple, like what's happening and what's happened today on the show is we've went from one direction over here and then we went into another direction. Then you said something about spells. Did you mean spelling or spells?
He's talking about like etymology.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Do they know?
The audience, yes.
Let me let the people know.
Yes.
Let me see.
Yes.
You just said kiss.
Right.
There you go. Now, that's crazy because this information is on the IRS.
I want you to break it down for them.
That form, the IRS form, when you maybe a 1040 form or whatever, if you ever read the back of the IRS form, just really read, it's going to say KISS. Keep it short and simple.
Right, that's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So by that, it's going to actually, so what you want to read is the definitions.
Right.
It's asking you for your information, so you need to define if you're on there really as defined on there. And you're going to find out that persons is a corporation, and we call ourselves, we think we the persons, we think we the person that got to be right, and you know what I'm saying? So that's how we fall into the spells.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It has been an honor sitting here and listening to this informative documentation of intention and fusion as it applies to economics and success. And we're not just talking about the success of America, because yes, God bless America, but the concept here at JCT TV is God bless the entire planet, because as you can see, the entire planet is on fire. And if you don't believe it, just go outside and sit on the concrete or lean up against some of the items that you usually lean up against. Glass is breaking throughout the nation. Places are burning. And the thing is, in order to stop this, we have to stop focusing totally on the economics of existence, but as the environment as well. And I hear that certain places throughout the world is attempting to destroy the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Association. I tell you, you better put it into the environment first and economics is second. But with that being said, hopefully you got an earful tonight. We're going to jump up out the way, and we look forward to bringing you the process. Same time, same place next week. Fantastic show, ladies and gentlemen. Success awaits us. Keep it coming.